Hello and welcome back to VALORANT Champions. We are with Potter and Boostio from Evil Geniuses, who will be playing a game of Agree or Disagree. Number 1. Potter would beat Boostio in an operator 1v1.
Easy.
There's a running joke in our team that the last time I played Potter, she absolutely destroyed me in a real tournament. She was like +5 against me, and every time we scrim, she puts me down in scrims too. So if she's in the server,
He's not wrong.
that is 100% fact.
He's not wrong, and I've never lost to any of my players in a match. Well, 3 of them. 3 of the players in a match, so strongly agree. I still got it, guys.
Number 2. EMEA is a one-team region.
Holy, that is 100% fact.
Strongly agree.
They need to do so much better over there. It's fact. It's only Fnatic. Every other team is bad.
Deadlock will be played at Champions.
Well,
I don't think so. She's bad.
she's not great. She's not great.
Ethan has the laziest in-game name of any pro player.
Wait, let me think.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, his name is terrible.
It's pretty close. He used to put effort when he did it the flip side.
Yeah,
it
when
used
it's
to
backwards.
be Nazi with a capital letter and a lowercase letter. Now, it's just
He's famous. He doesn't care anymore.
The LA crowd will be a better crowd than in Japan.
I love America, but I don't see any crowd being better than the one in Japan, to be honest, for both stadiums. It was unreal.
Yeah.
But if NA can do it, I hope so. It'd be cool.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to follow
Yeah.
up the Japanese crowd, for sure.
Americas will have more teams in the top 8 than any other region.
Wait.
We only have 3 teams here.
Yeah. So by odds, technically no, but we have S and Energy. I'll agree. Not strongly agree. I think. Actually, no, I strongly agree. NA is the best region, actually. It's not even close. EMEA is a fraudulent region, 100%.
Chinese Valorant will never be better than NA.
Never. Absolutely not. I will make sure of it. Never.
Boosie's not paying attention to the rest of the world, but we will all be speaking Chinese soon. So I'm going to have to go and disagree.
Final question. EG is winning champions.
I don't want to jinx it, but
I don't want to jinx it either, but you just go agree.
agree.
We're winning it all. Won't even be close.
Well, Boostio, he doesn't think that Chinese Valorant is ever going to be better than NA, and he has a time to prove it today because EG, they're going to be going up against FPX. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Baby Bay and Mimi. Welcome, you guys. We got to address that, though. Mimi, what do you make of Boostio's comments?
I make that FPX has a chance to do the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
If they beat EG then, and we're just told that there's no chance. But yeah, I think it's fair for now, but saying never. There's a lot of people in China who play games, and they're already getting better very quickly if you look at EDG.
Yeah, I think EDG will have some words for that, you know. And, you know, I think they have one of the best operators in the world right now. So I think he alone might put a thorn in what he just said. But you know what? I'm from NA. I got to support my boy. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say.
Boostio, that's my guy, bro. Come
Yeah,
on,
you
bro.
agree with that,
Better
right?
back it up. Better back it up, bro.
You're backing him. But let's talk about EG here a little bit because EG, I feel like going into Tokyo, maybe there was not even any expectations of what this team could do, but Baby Bay, after seeing what they could do in Tokyo, do you think the expectations are higher this time around?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? That sets a different precedent too, because like when you go into a tournament without having high expectations, you play a lot differently. You can be a lot more loose, and you can actually like play just however you do in scrims, you know. And now that there's a standard that we know now, it's like, how are they going to perform?
In talking to Potter about this team, they always use the term that we're playing with house money, right? They never thought they'd be there. A coach had to knife someone for them to make playoffs and make a crazy run to make it into the international event, and then don't even think they're going to have Demon 1. I mean, it was unparalleled, the run that EG had. And it is going to be a huge shift in expectations, because this team's entire history, going back 2 years to when they were in Tier 2 in like 2021, they were always an underdog. No one ever expected them to win, to go on runs. But now placing top 2 at an international tournament, that I think will shift the expectations, and I imagine will force the players to kind of think things through mentally differently. And I'm wondering what that's like for you, Baby, because you've done that with FaZe before, to go for a team with very low expectations to one who kind of became a favorite in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, on FaZe, I got second place. And
oh, you know all about it.
yeah.
You know all about it.
It was downhill from there, let me just say. But, you know, it was a great time getting second while it lasted, you know, and going on that crazy run.
I'm glad you mentioned the second place thing, because coming top 2 is actually a bad thing if you don't win it. As you guys can see, the history of the second place curse at global events, it is the only curse that has yet to be broken. Baby Bay, are EG the team to break this curse, do you think?
I mean, I feel like they've broken the 9-3 curse, so, you know, they could be, you know, but you never know. We got to see how they perform today, and, like, I'm not going to say that this is a big test for them, honestly, but, like, they should be dominating today. Let's just
Yeah, they've made miracles happen before, is the thing. So if there was a team to break it, I think it would be EG. But I don't think today is really going to be the day they're at risk of losing out. I think actually they're in a group that's really good for them to get acquainted to the international stage again and kind of warm up to those new expectations.
I think that's the looking at the other strength of the other teams in this group is really, really interesting for EG. And that's the other thing, right, with EG. They're innovating. People are starting to take things that they do for themselves. I think the Sova fracture is something that we've been talking about for a while, Mimi, but it's not just that, though. There's a lot of other stuff that people are just straight up yoinking from EG.
Yeah, people have been stealing their comps, their ideas. I think in particular, the way that they put an emphasis on ultimates and how well they can use them on the fly surprised and impressed so many people at Tokyo. But beyond that, also, Boostio is an IGL. The mid-rounding for this team got so good at that event. I mean, they really were playing at a form that we've never seen from this team before.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw them play this good, like, ever, right? Like, I played against them my entire career, and, I mean, Boostio said it in interviews, like, not a lot of people gave respect to, like, the core that we had, and you know what? They're actually a great core.
They absolutely are. And the thing is, well, other miracle runs in history have been based on form. It was Zeta with Sugar Zero playing like a god. It was players stepping up, becoming massive individuals to make upsets happen. You think the crew champs run, but I don't think that was the case for EG. If anything, Demon 1 was playing worse than he did at home. It wasn't one star propelling this team to the levels that they reached. It was really their style and their consistency as a roster that defined their run, which I think makes it different than other teams who have made miracles happen in the past.
Does that open them up to some anti-stratting, though, Baby Bay? People know what they do now. How deep is their playbook?
I think the thing with their team, I think Potter does a great job with making micro adjustments. Like, I used to play against them all the time, like I said, and every time we would play them, it'd be something new. So, like, even if it's like a micro change, she knows how to implement that within the team. And a big thing that they focus on, and we've heard Boostio say this a lot, is communication. And, like, I don't think you can copy communication. If their comms are on and they're vibing off of each other, like, it's going to be tough for any team to play against them.
Do you know what? I don't think we've heard enough from Boostio. I want more.
Yeah.
He's standing by right now, actually, with Sideshow, and he managed to get a quick word out of him. Check this out.
Boostio, welcome to the big stage of champions. Now, you famously said that China will never be better than North America in Valorant. So presumably that means today's going to be a 2-0. How many rounds are you going to drop?
To be humble, I think we'll give them 8. 13-4, 13-4.
And that's humble, 13-4, 13-4. Well, there you go. You heard it from him.
Oh, like 8 total.
He just gave him 8 and
He didn't
walked
even
off
let him
as
finish.
well. He just literally walked off. Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's reasonable. I had the same opinion going into today.
I mean, just his walk alone, that was stupid alpha. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
he
you
rolled
guys are
up the sideshow, like, just
convinced?
flexing him like that. Like.
I mean, speaking of alpha, I got to talk about one guy who I feel like has been so cold and consistent for this team, which is Ethan. I know Tom was kind of making fun of him having one of the boringest names, perhaps, but Mimi, nothing else about this guy on the server is boring.
His impact is incredible. His supportive utility, I think, is really world-class. And on top of that, his individual form stepped up to such a big level. at Tokyo. On top of that, Baby Bay, just the experience he brings to any team is huge.
Yeah, he's such an annoying player to play against because you know he's always going to make the right play. It's like he rarely gets caught out, rarely does something that's deemed stupid. And you know what? It's because he's a championship level player. He's won majors before, right? Like this guy just brings that entire energy and really brings it all together for the young guys on his team.
You can see that the crowd never bothers him. He's always so focused and in the zone. You guys don't believe in FPX. I don't know why you would say that, because let's talk about FPX. I still feel like when it comes to Chinese teams, Mimi maybe still one of the lesser known ones, because all of the attention has always been on EDG.
This team made it to Lock-in and promptly lost one game and went out there, but they have been international before and they've made some changes, picking up Lysor during the offseason. But the thing is, I actually think FPX has slipped in their standings in China. Well, a lot of these teams I feel have really improved, especially EDG with their run at Tokyo. FPX has been struggling. Still, I see so many fundamental issues, the late rounds falling apart. They have star power. They have players who are really good, but it feels like oftentimes they rely very heavily on that. And really, against super fundamentally sound teams like EG, I just don't think that's going to be super successful internationally. So this is going to be a very hard task for FPX if they want to try and mirror EDG's run and have another top team for China.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think in order for them to win this series, they're going to have to pull out some crazy, crazy things. I think they're going to have to be running through smokes, getting like 2Ks back to back to back to back. Like, it's got to be some crazy stuff going on. I don't see a world in which they win because of the foundation that EG has.
Baby, if there was a team to do crazy though,
yes,
it would be these guys. They play absurd comps, double controller with like an Astra and an Omen on maps you'd never expect it. Berlin is lurking as the IGL infant. They will do ridiculous things to catch people off guard.
You just summed up their win condition, by the way, so I'm glad you did that. But speaking of FPX, Berlin is standing by with Sideshow right now as well. Let's send it down to him.
Berlin, can I catch a word? Okay, so the last time you came to an international tournament, you were able to take a map off Carmine Court. What's it going to take to turn that into a series win here today?
那这个问题想问一下 Berlin 选手的是，其实你们上一次出现在国际大赛，你们当时是有拿下一张地图的，所以说你觉得怎么样？在这一次，你们能够把你们的胜势从一张地图变成赢下一场对局呢？一场 BO3。
我们准备了更多的小秘密，然后这是要给EG的一些战术震撼吧。对。
Yeah, definitely. I must say we have some secret weapon prepared, so definitely we're going to surprise EG for this game.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Good luck in your game. Thank you very much. Thanks.
I love how he said secret weapons in plural, Mimi. There's more than one secret weapon that they have prepared specifically for EG.
I'm going to be honest, if I'm EG, I have no idea what to expect against these guys. They play so many different compositions at home. They take crazy risks that no one else really would. I think if there was a team to punish you when you're on an off day, when your fundamentals aren't perfect, if you're leaving gaps, it's going to be FPX because they just thrive in the chaos. And baby, their IGL is the example of that. This is the agents that he's played thus far back home in China, and it is a ridiculous pool for this guy.
He's a versatile player with a versatile play style, right? I mean, he lurks on the IGL role, on Fade, and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know what to expect, you know? Like, I don't know what these secret weapons can be.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it as well and see what they're going to do with the map selection. Our coaches are ready, so let's send it down.
First of all, congratulations to you both. Your first match of Champions 2023. Big congrats. Let's jump in. So, EG, you were the higher seed for this match. Team A or Team B?
Team A.
Team A. So, FPX, you will be Team B. So, we will start your first ban.
We'll ban Lotus.
They ban Lotus. Your ban?
We ban Fracture.
Fracture. And then map number 1 from EG.
We will pick...
We love you, Twitch chat.
We love you, Twitch chat. Okay, we will pick Ascent.
Ascent? Okay, side on Ascent. Attack. Okay, map number 2.
Pearl.
Pearl, side on Pearl.
We'll pick Defense.
Defense. Okay, next set of bans, starting with EG, you have Haven, Bind, and Split.
We'll take out Haven.
Take out Haven. Your ban, you have Bind and Split.
Okay, ban Split.
Ban, Split, play Bind. So map number 3 is Bind, EG, side on Bind.
We'll pick Defense.
Defense. Okay, I'm gonna run through this really quick, make sure we're all set. First set of bans, we have EG with Lotus, FPX with Fracture. Map number 1 is Ascent with FPX on attack. Map number 2 is Pearl with EG on defense. Next set of bans are Haven and Split, which makes the Cider map 3 Bind with EG on defense. Good? All right, good luck to you both.
It's the team that defied all expectations versus the team that we don't really know what to expect. But let's not forget, EG, they've been on the side where everybody underestimated them and they had to pay the price. So Mimi, surely they know not to underestimate their opponent.
They absolutely do. But this went from the team for Evil Geniuses that no one believed in, no one was a fan of, to now making a run at Tokyo. Looking out over the crowd, I see the majority of people are here for EG, out to support them. It's the first North American team making their debut in Los Angeles.
And it feels like Baby Bay is one of the first times that they seem like the heavy favorites, not just the favorites in a matchup. So what are you expecting from them today?
I mean, I'm definitely expecting them to come out guns blazing. I mean, you could definitely feel their energy and their confidence. I just hope they're not overly confident and they don't go overboard and they don't start just running it down or something, you know? Like, I would hate to see that because this is a team that their success is made off of the fundamentals.
Yeah, and let's talk about the maps here as well, because speaking of not being able to run it down, I think Ascent coming out first, Baby Bay, is such a strong pick for EG, and FPX did the smart thing of banning Fracture.
Yeah, and you know what I'm surprised at specifically is that they picked attack, right? Like, FPX is on attack first, and I'm just like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I have no idea what they're gonna do. So like, I don't know. I mean, they have a really good opportunity now to set the pace and do something crazy, bring out those secret weapons, you know?
But Ascent is a map that's very good for Evil Geniuses. They were one of the first teams to break Loud streak on this map when they were the best Ascent team, pretty much undisputed. They also beat Paper X here on their run. This has been one of their strong suits. They play the default comp, but Boostio's IGLing, especially on the attack sides, has been really excellent throughout the run at Americas and into Tokyo as well.
Yeah, and also just the individual fragging too from Boostio on this map is always being very, very consistent. But Mimi, what about the side of FPX as we head into the Prime Gaming Agent Select? What do you make of this?
I mean, let me show you guys something. They're playing double controller, but it's not with the Viper. It's two of the more normal controller agents with both Omen and Astra on this map. They play a Sky instead of Sova with no KO. It's a ridiculous composition where they're almost always going to be lacking information, but these guys will just put down smokes seemingly in strange random positions and make crazy plays. This is a comp where FPX can create the chaos, Baby Bay, that they tend to thrive in.
You're shaking your head. Why?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I don't think that EG is going to be caught off guard by a lot of things. I think that this default comp is just very versatile in every way. So as long as they don't overthink it, I'm sure they'll do a great job.
I think that's always a strength for EG. The preparation is strong for them, and I'm sure that they have watched back some of what FPX was doing. For FPX, though, this really is the question, how far can they go? They made it here. They got an opportunity, again, internationally. Can they do better than Lock-in?
This is the thing, it's champs, right? Even all the games we've seen so far, there have been surprises already. You never know what can happen on a stage like this, because sometimes, Baby Bay, it really depends on who turns up on the day.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the best time to turn up is on attack. Like, setting that pace is so important. So we need to see something crazy out of them, but I'm not saying they can't do it. It is going to be an uphill battle, though.
Well, the agents are locked and the stage is all set. All we need and are missing are two people to take us through this exciting match. Everyone give a warm welcome to Bren and Saicha.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, great setup for this one here. Evil Geniuses versus FPX, our #1 America seed versus the #3 in China, Josh. I mean, I'm looking forward to some whimsy, some silliness.
Some wild stuff.
Listen, make some noise here. Let's get this group stage match started.
What a position for EG to be in. Perennial underdogs now as the favorites in a match that would be the biggest upset I feel like we've seen at an international tournament if FPX was able to pull it off. And instantly trying to up the pace, as Baby Bay was talking about, set the tempo early, take grasp of the match.
It was that early paranoia just through the choke point, but now it's all slowed down once more. Bit of mid-exploration for the pistol round. FPX grouped up.
And
even with that A-split.
Even with the double smoke comp, Brent, not putting a smoke down in mid there. Yeah. Not giving the idea that they're going for the A-split. Jorgamo almost caught off.
Catching it. Quite a bit of damage, actually, off of that one. Berlin lucky to be alive, but they're going to be getting the first section of the A site. It's going to be theirs.
What a lovely
Letting now the Nana Swarms. Boostio still anchoring towards the back. No one really swinging to deal with them. They just can't. Too many Nana Swarms at the floor, at the feet, yet still FPX coming up with the goods. 2 kills their way. Plenty of damage done to the players, though. They are quite weak, and there's a shock dart. Finishing off Ayang. Still close to the corner, Lysor. Oh, they're not going to expect this one. Still up close, onto the heaven angle. Jorgamo does not win his fight out. Team 1 brought down. And FPX open us up with a pistol round win.
And you're instantly seeing the biggest advantage to me, Brent, that FPX have compared to the last time we saw them at an international tournament. They've made a roster upgrade, and this guy has been the best player in the most recent tournaments that FPX has been playing in. Lysor has instantly rejuvenated the team and provided an upgrade in terms of the fragging power. Stick him on the Killjoy. He's allowed them to have flexibility between the double smokes and double initiator comps that FPX never used to have before. He's a danger. He really is.
EG on the back foot now off that. We'll see a slow beginning for here. FPX, double smokes comp, need to be playing the map, the attack side, quite cautiously. You can see the star placed down. It's a recall. Hoping to take the angle, Boostio. Reactions far too good, though. Opening pick going their way.
And that's put a bit of fear into FPX as well. Drone is being used to clear out mid, expecting them to pivot away from B main. But it's just the brakes getting pumped here. Boostio's going to look for another one off the back of the drone clearing a bunch of space. Looking to see if he can find a duel over towards tiles. It looks like this is just going to be a regroup and B-pop called by Berlin posthumously.
Yeah, fully grouped up there. It's only going to be Ethan receiving this one. A knife earlier was broken into B main, and you can see him just floating around. Doesn't actually have any util to stop this one. Finally, the hits coming through. Couple of stray bullets on the classic, not enough to do too much more. Door being closed. Boostio hoping to catch a cheeky timing. Denied with the door. The side's going to be gained for FPX. They don't have any B main control. Could play an important part in this one. Fully grouped up onto the side.
But the weaponry is just so low. It's only Boostio with a Sheriff. 4v5, FPX should still have an advantage.
Should have an advantage indeed. There we go. You call the first one onto Ethan through lane. It's a triple phase. Lysor falls. The TP disengage all around, and it's just Calm left. He will fall. So 3 players surviving. Economy relatively healthy there for FPX. You can bring this one into the 3rd round, maybe get a decent bonus going.
Yeah, the weaponry is looking strong for them. I've been watching some of the FPX games, and their economy management is sometimes a little all over. I mean, even here, it looks like Ucore is going to try and get a Vandal into this round, despite the fact that he wouldn't have money to be able to buy up in the next. But, you know, sometimes those kind of risks are worth going for. Yeah, he's gone back over to the Bulldog here, so taking it a little more safely. EG, on the other hand, look like they're trying to set Demon 1 up, take early duels across B.
It's a heavy stack over there. It's the recalled star, at least the star placed down prior. Here's the benefit of some of these double smoke comps as well. One towards Cat, one towards mid. You can really just expend all of them early and not worry about it as much. Alarm bot at your feet, Berlin. Didn't really seem to be aware of the cause.
And FPX are a team that are going to force aim duels quite a lot. Their players haven't been in the most incredible form recently, but Lysor's always been hot. He backs away just before taking that duel against Demon 1.
Still holding the space.
And this is going to get set up for an A-split here, where Jorgamo's in the position to ruin it or go down and leave A completely undefended. He's only going to take a duel, though, against Nisha, essentially.
Plenty of noise being made, though. Com spraying him down as they're just running it down all the way through. But Jorgamo, well, he stays alive here into A main, holding this space as well. FPX make a call to try and flip the map, but they've stopped themselves. Just ever so slightly. The smoke's really just stopping it. Now they need to work out what they want to do. 40 seconds remaining. They do have some time to work with, but it's going to be running short in just a moment. Demon One still seeking to contain. You can see him just watching that angle deep.
30 seconds
into
left.
mid. They know the potential positionings here. Demon One will be able to see them crossing. Yeah, we can hear it as well. Dash active, brought down.
Great shot.
Wonderful stuff from Ayang. Set the Seekers on them as well. It's going to be good positioning, at least noted. Do they know Boostio's there? Slight misstep with the flash. There's only 12 seconds left. They don't get onto the side. It's Boostio who denies them that chance.
You can see what FPX were going for. The flash from Ayang would have been great there to push Boostio off the line and make them advantaged in the duel. But they just couldn't quite get it. The flash, I think, connected with the wall and just kind of getting tangled up there in the architecture. Strange round, but that's what you're going to get from FPX, I think. They really like to mess with expectations.
New beginning here, a bit even when it comes to the rifles on either side. Again, pretty heavy emphasis being placed. Just a one-way smoke for Jorgamo.
But look at how much of an annoyance this star is down at the feet of Demon One and Jorgamo here. And this is the freedom that you have with the Astra. It's not that unusual of a composition. It might seem odd, but it's kind of similar to the Viper Sky compositions that we've seen some of the Americas teams run, like Cloud9 and Loud, I believe, at one point.
Yeah.
But the Astra utility can be used in more, varied ways. A flash to clear out wide.
Let's go deep. Jorgamo's not going to be playing there, though. Already moved from that position, still a slight jiggle, and really down to the minute mark, there hasn't really been much house movement. It's a reclearance, it's called by EG with a paranoia, sets him up, tagging him to Ayang, but it doesn't matter. Demon One still wins his fight out, left down to 9 health. What's the response? Not too much else, still contact plays here, working themselves up towards Cat, FPX. Going for the 2-2 split, but EG still have players anchoring down, locking it down, rooted in place almost. There's a KO nade pushing him even further away. Time is really running short, and there is chaos in the mix. Lysor through the smoke. What kind of timing do you really want to take here? Waiting for the stars to be dropped down. There it is in front of them, but Jorgamo contained. Still brought down. Ethan is there with a trade. At the backside of Jenny, Spike's out in the open with 23 seconds left, looking for information, buying time. It's a 3-2-1 face. And EG, they've got the discipline for it.
Great containment by EG there. I think they worked out very nicely. They had a three-piece crossfire that was ready to melt any of the players that came through. Despite the player at Switch getting overwhelmed, Jorgamo's there. And this position of box is so nice. Not only does he hold that smoke over by Switch, but also he can swing at any point of Ethan or Demon One's contact. You can tell that EG have really put the effort into refining these setups. And now Operator online for Demon One. They've won enough rounds, despite the fact that Demon One's not, up at the top of the scoreboard, for him to start getting a bit more aggressive and peek out.
Game plan for FPX, though, seems to be just brute force, overwhelming with the half-bite. Stingers, Sheriffs, fully grouped up, aren't they? Smoke dropped down off of that one portion of utility, and there's a lockdown committed by FPX.
On an eco round as well.
Yeah, that's why that's a bit unusual. And it has just essentially notified EG that they are going to be hitting this site. With Demon One holding that space still over towards B. Here's a paranoia sent flying 1-for-1, and still Ethan will collect. Bringing down one of the players. Flash also just pushing him back through the choke point. No one can really get into this. Beautiful dart. The supplementary utility just bogs them down.
Bit of an overinvestment there from FPX. Not sure why the lockdown was used in a round where you have such an economical disadvantage. Oh, that's the guy I've been playing with recently.
One enemy remaining.
Very nice utility defensively there from EG, but dealt with, I think, far too easily. We also saw a 0 point from Ethan that took away Yukor's Blade Storm right as he popped it. So that's a Jet ultimate that was supposed to be comboed in there with the lockdown.
No, Demon One's got the ult.
It's just a flash recon play, I think, here. Oh, it's going to have a Hunter's Fury
right behind it, yep. As soon as the dart was broken, that's the trigger. Com's consistent with it, lets it loose. Up in mid, Demon One. Of course, he's going to be finding it, but does he expect that? Goal! There's no shot!
It's just filthy!
Slight minor adjustment, another day in the office for Demon One. Listen, he had a bit of a rough beginning to the map, but okay, he's warming up.
And think about how perfectly timed this investment of ultimates and in general just to play with the op going aggressive and the Hunter's Fury being used to halt this economy. FPX had just got a buy up. They're in a 4v5 instantly off the back of Com's play, and Demon 1 is picking apart the rest of FPX with ease. This is what EG did so well on their run towards Tokyo. They took one advantage and spiraled it into many. They win a pistol round, then they win a bonus, then they have ults up to be able to snowball. In terms of being able to set up these snowball moments, I don't think there's a team doing it better other than Fnatic. And even then, it's fairly dead even between the two.
A really good understanding of that, just making sure that they can keep using the ultimates, keep them rolling. A lot of teams, you know, they think to save the Hunter's Fury, for example, for a Killjoy lockdown that might be coming. I mean, Lysol's nowhere near. Well, so that's not really a problem
gave him a very simple choice in the play around.
Exactly, I will say that EG still, even when that's on the board, they don't really care. They will still use your ultimates to try and snowball the rounds and the economic advantage. Just force the time out of FPX.
And FPX have a lot to consider here. You know, attack side on this map, it's going to be a little difficult. But when you take a step back, FPX will have been extremely happy with the map vetoes. In terms of one area where they could have an opportunity to upset in this game, it's getting Ascent and Pearl in there. They have a combined 74% win rate on these two maps across their lifespan, which is extraordinarily good. I mean, Ascent in particular, they've only ever lost twice to Billy Gaming. So, you know, they are not a bad team on this map. It's been causing the Chinese teams a lot of issues, and EG chose not to get rid of their permaban haven, or rather, chose not to pick FPX's permaban haven, and instead get rid of it themselves. EG just very confident that they could play the maps that FPX are good at and beat them on it through, you know, just outclassing them.
Yeah. Which is a reasonable expectation, I would say. You know, EG finishing second in Tokyo. Very deep run as well. Still a lot of naysayers as well that are doubting this team and they want to see the consistency with those results. But I mean,
well, let's be
for
real,
my
it has
liking,
to be clean. This group has to be clean.
It does have to be clean. It should be a slam dunk for EG in this group in terms of them being favorites. But new beginning to the round. Again, it's FPX on the weaker buy. Similar game plan to what we saw last time on the half buy, only this time down towards Cat. Late lurk from one of the players. The Trailblazer plays out towards it. Com is out in the open. Misstep there. Was not expecting these players to be so fast up onto that angle. Smoke down, dropping it. Jorgamo to reposition. Updraft to re-clear. And a flash is really quite nice. FPX coming straight into it. Great ideas of how they wanted to clear out the site there.
Specifically the updraft play and swinging through it. Really good coordination. And EG caught off by the tempo, as you were saying.
That's just okay.
Boostio caught by the spam. And suddenly, as quickly as the Seeker round started, it is over.
It's done just like that.
These are the moments where the Chinese teams could definitely catch you off guard. They play it at such a different tempo. You can see that Com was expecting to have that time to be able to throw a very well-set recon dart up into tree. And he was just rushed.
Yeah, overwhelmed. Demon 1 now being hunted down for that operator in his hands. They'd love to remove it, missing the shot, but his position is known now. They are quickly approaching his location, but this is really just going to be a firing range for him. He just needs to try and survive. There's a pull at his feet, smokes all around. Will he survive? Looks likely, so keeping the op.
But take a look at that. I mean, Com completely overwhelmed and then a little flustered, perhaps a little whiffy from the other two players that rank here in the A site. You'd expect Jorgamo and Ethan to be able to catch one of those, but yeah, Ethan's reaction, I think, to that. And that ends us with that MasterCard Thrifty.
There's another round here with Demon 1 watching the top section of mid. He's going to get some action almost immediately. Not quite. Angle's cut off. Open smoke in his face. It's one of the things that, in theory, oh my god! I mean, they're just rattling off bullets straight down the angle, so where somebody could be playing in and hiding. Almost claiming a freebie.
And this double smokes composition is going to put a lot of pressure on Demon 1 to find these good spots to play from. Good lineup there from Com, removes the turret. Means that Lysor's now going to be attached a bit more to watching out for B main. But FPX is going to take the time to commit to A, and that frees up the Killjoy once more to go for a lurk.
Nobody on EG is going to be playing onto the site here. Most of the setup from Tree. including the Killjoy Nanoswarm, so it's going to be completely wide open for them. Multitude of smokes laid down here, but here's the lockdown in play. It's going to be really clearing out most of the site. There has to be a call and a decision made by FPX. Do you choose to fight this one or not? A bit of confusion in the mix. They are really just staying grounded onto it. A bit of a dodge there from Berlin. Uses the ult, and he's still able to just sit himself into hell, but he needs to create more of a distraction. It's a triple face. EG, those fundamentals still reigning true, but they haven't cleared out B main. Still, Tree and Door needs to be watched for. Com brings it down, but still a smoke. Ethan sticking it. There's not enough damage. And he's not pushed away from it. Round win for EG. Will they keep their guns till the bitter end? Ethan, no intention of peeking.
Big ultimate investment, but a nice retake from EG. I think FPX had a couple of different ways that they could approach that. Maybe just getting paralyzed with the amount of opportunities presented to them. They had Lightsaw, who could have gone for a backstab and synced up with some kind of tree push. And in the end, Yuko was just hoping to catch somebody that was pushing heaven as Berlin went for his ult dodge. But all right, still 3 rounds for FPX on attack side. It's not doing too badly, and there's still many more opportunities to rack up the score. Demon 1 looking for a different angle for the operator.
Oh, and it's just a classic play with the dart and the spam of the Odin. No one watching top mid. There's a chance there that Demon 1 got punished, but no. Dash to disengage, back away. Picking up the angle now once more, but it is FPX looking at that 4v5 disadvantage to them, and it's, well, cemented even further.
That's both of the smokes gone.
And now there's nothing to really stop Demon 1. He can take all of these line-of-sight angles. There has to be risk taken, and that's maybe what Yuko's doing. With that kill onto Com, close, it's missed. With the shot, that is a punish. It's 3 versus 3, just like that. Close to the corner is Ethan.
He's stuck here, though.
Yeah, there's no real support for him.
Ayoung still with 2 flashes. Ethan's got to be a little concerned about that, but we can see that Ayoung deep into B main is not going to be an issue.
It might just come down to individual gunfights. Still locking it down. It's a dash forwards, but there's no one else to follow up on that, so Ethan relatively safe and sound. FPX now just trying to get themselves through onto the side. Boostio falling. Might just get a little bit easier. Ethan, how do you play this? Do you take risks? Do you try and survive long enough for the team? No, he takes the peak and he will fall.
Looking to try and grab a timing there, and Ayoung, it looks like he's seriously in form. He's been very sharp in terms of hitting shots around the map. Puts his team in a 2v1 to win their 4th.
Jorgamo with the 1v2. Plenty of util left. Make all sorts happen with it. Smoke. Do you want to place this one? Dropping down. So one way towards the back of it. Paranoia there. TP close. Was that predicted? Lightsaw doesn't seem too likely still. Ayoung was there. Eventually the Paranoia, if it even did catch, was faded. So he gets the trade online. 5-4. Josh, this is looking almost evened up.
Yeah, it's a very nice round from FPX in terms of their individuals. Lysol manages to catch Demon 1, who was holding a bit too close of an angle, and the shot goes straight between the legs. But still, that's a very bold angle to be taken when you don't have that level of information in mid. And Ayoung, too, is able to win aim duels out around the map. Ayoung's currently at the top of the scoreboard. He was one of their best players, perhaps even their best at lock-in, and in the events prior.
Knives out, Demon 1. You're really trying to take that. There's no coverage. From the bottom section of mid, a push out through main. Will they deal with these players? EG are crumbling. It's Com. It's the last player left standing. Now they know exactly where he is. Ayoung feeling it, man. You can feel it. And so EG maybe feeling a little bit pressed to make these really proactive plays now on their defense, feeling like the game is slipping.
And they've just helped it slip a little further. Not a fan of that set play even at the best of times, but Yuko absolutely dismantles it. Just swinging, ignoring the recon dart completely to take the aim duels in mid. The Demon 1 didn't even get a chance to set up. EG here are going to take a timeout, and I think it's time for us to assess these expectations again.
Oh, yeah.
Once more, EG are massive favorites in this group. They've drawn a group that has a couple of teams that didn't do too well at Masters Tokyo, that ended up going out in groups despite, you know, having some levels of success before that, and then FPX, a 3rd best team from China. Not an EDG that's gone on a run before at a big event. FPX have only won a single map at an international event, and that was against Carmine Core when they were playing Triple Initiator on Haven.
Trying to rally the fan base. Trust me, crowd work is hard.
Especially when your favorite team is currently dead even in a matchup that they should, on paper, be slaughtering. FPX are certainly bringing it. And I think one of the things that they're doing really well is just finding that form that actually has been slipping recently within China. Like I said, Ayoung was one of their best players around lock-in at the beginning of the year. And since then, he's just been looking not quite as hot in the Chinese tournaments. If he gets back up to form and they have Lysor and Yuko playing, this team has serious chances of bringing it in the skill department.
EG really do need to tighten up as well the way they're playing around this. There's a lot of opportunities that they're granting. I think FPX, they would love it if they handed all of these individual fights. The way it's been going so far. A real chance here for FPX to gain that lead in the first half of this map, despite there only being 2 rounds left. They have the economic advantage. It's only Demon 1 with the rifle who they really have to worry about. Taking mid control, nice and early. Not smoking off the top section of it. Actually, just hoping for a fight.
The 1-3-1 setup that FPX has been running in a lot of these rounds where they take mid control is very crew-esque. You know, just controlling the aggression on the outsides of the map, going deep with Yuko and Ayoung in the middle. Demon 1 with a hero rifle is going to try and take a fight.
You're looking at Demon 1 really to find those openings. Backs away though. Bit of information. Seekers now let loose. Not too many of them going into the direction towards A. Jogamo tucked himself towards main. Will not survive though. Out towards Y. That's a skill. Okay. Dash is still there for him. Dart is good with the reveal. But tucked behind Jenny. Still alive. And kicking Ethan. Tucked inside the smoke that they suspected. They're body blocking right into each other. Surely they think that he's there. Finds the timing. Finds the kill. But is brought down in the end. He's left alone to do it. But already this plant is down. Post plant looking good. Turret going to be spotting out Com's location. Look at this from FPX. Already setting themselves up to group up and take the fight. Ayoung, he's got no teammates with him. Does not care.
And this is now solidly a fantastic half from FPX. To be able to get up to 6. Sure, they grabbed the pistol, but those are really significant big rounds to be able to take on the attack side of Ascent. There is a reason why this team is 8-2 on this map. And I feel like perhaps a little bit of overconfidence, maybe a little hubris, has led EG to pick in a map pool that is extremely good for FPX. When you have the depth like this, when you have the depth and the map pool advantage, I think often you benefit from just removing your opponent's best. That's not the strategy EG went with.
Here we go, last chance in the first half. Demon 1 with the operator once more. Another setup here with the Hunter's Fury. Something triggered it. Demon 1 trying to set himself up through with the chaos. The Hunter's Fury does cleave.
And in the meantime, your IGL Omen is swinging with the attack side operator. Of course he is. Just Berlin things.
He's backing away now though with the spike. The rest of his team pushing themselves up into 4 positions here. A main control. He's how still holding on to himself. Finally regrouping. Is there a rifle for Berlin? I feel like you don't want an op in this scenario, but we'll see what he can do with it.
They certainly had enough cash to be able to give him a rifle as well as the operator, but I don't know whether they did.
Here we go. Smoke's dropped down now. One at the choke point, Boostio. What kind of timing do you choose to take it? There's an alarm bot at your feet. It's broken. He anticipated it. Somebody was creeping up onto that corner. Jorgamo to reposition with the TP. Needs some help though. Boostio through the smoke. Taking the fight right to it. Not enough to reset to claim that second. Jorgamo, he's still alive, anchoring towards the back, but he's fired shots off now, just creating a bit of distraction. The rest of his team helping him out, but Com is brought down. Time needs to be bought here. I mean, Jorgamo's already deep into the site. Ethan's not there with him. And it's brought into this 1v1. Ethan! Consistency laid bare. It's 6-6.
6-6, and he's dropping the back.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite there yet, to be honest.
They've
really done enough to be getting away with that still.
I mean, I can feel a bit of excitement brewing for an enormous upset. I don't know about you.
6-6 is not where we were expecting, not what we were anticipating, but yeah, that's where we're looking at right now. The #1 America's seed versus the 3rd in China. Desk, what are you making of it?
Thank you very much, Bren. And Saisho not expecting perhaps a curse here in the arena. Who knows? But let's take a look at the Verizon high-speed moment, because despite the fact that EG only managed to get 6 rounds, Mimi, Demon 1 was on form.
But the thing is, Demon 1 was on form. This is great. I mean, this clip was ridiculous. I feel like this is an EG that has had to, in this half, even just to get 6 rounds, rely a lot more on these individual moments. This wasn't what was happening at Tokyo. Sure, there were individual step-ups, and it's always good to have, but they were consistently able to take down teams like FPX. Here, EG has been struggling to contend with their weird style, and I think, Baby Bay, FPX is playing to an expectation far above what anyone would have set for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the major thing that I've noticed is they're just willing to take their time when they're down a guy. Like how many first bloods did EG get there from Demon 1? And then they just slow the round down, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, EG starts like freaking out. I wouldn't say freaking out, but they start getting antsy.
I mean, as you guys heard from Boostio in the pre-match as well, he only expected FPX to get 8 rounds, not on one map, Mimi, in this entire series. And FPX, they've got 6 already, so it's not looking very good for Boostio.
Yeah, I think this is far less dominant than EG would have thought it was going to be. The setup here was that EG needed a dominant group. This was their chance to get out, to continue going as they were. And right now they're struggling a little bit against this double controller comp. But in the second half, it's really, again, this question of how is FPX going to play this one? Because I think we saw the ideas with it in the first half, being able to scale out sites, put down these weird smokes to get space. I think that's a little harder to get value out of on defense.
Yeah, you know what? I almost want EG to like let them have 8 rounds already, so they can just have that out of their mind. Like I feel like they might be just trying to like play a little bit too much to that, and I feel like we'll see the real EG once that 8 round mark gets passed up. So I really hope, you know, that this pistol round is one from FPX.
Oh, okay, baby. Not what I expected there. Sideshow and Brent, what did you make of that?
Listen, I'm all here for it. I mean, throw some chaos into the mix. The #1 seed from America getting upset by FPX, you know, the 3rd seed out of China. I would love that, honestly, for the group stage, because otherwise this group would be largely quite predictable.
People keep saying that it's going to be a predictable group. Well, no, if things continue in this way.
Exactly.
EG getting set up. And one of the things that you can look at from FPX's side is how they favor attack and defense on Ascent. Usually, all teams are going to be defense-sided on this map. It's the opposite for FPX. They normally win about 60% of the time on attack and less than 50% on defense. So there's still great chances.
Yeah, flash and dart to clear most of it, but doesn't clear the players up into heaven. It's a high-low setup down below, but they're not winning the fights out. It's EG coming out on top.
And this one's going to be extremely difficult for the 2 smokes players, Nisha and Berlin, to be able to get back in on. One paranoia, maybe a stun or a pull, but Berlin goes in ahead of Nisha, trying to make something happen. And this looks like an extremely clean pistol.
Yeah, very clean. Kind of response I think you'd probably want if you're a fan of North America.
I mean, they are giving them the business.
They really are.
I could understand it if EG were up 8-1 or something like that, but considering FPX are really pushing them and had a nice looking attack side, they're setting themselves up for something.
Set themselves up for...
Might be another G at the end of this and some egg on the face.
What did Mimi say? If FPX have the potential to do the funniest thing in Valorant history.
Do the funniest thing.
Yeah, we could see it. Everyone's here to play. It's champs at the end of the day, so... 7-6, EG. Big advantage of the economy. Deep flash. Take flight. Getting that information, but it's a very spread out attack side default from EG, so it doesn't really grant him too much more. Drone sets up Jorgamo, so he can hold on to this A main control, grab the orb, spray a couple of bullets, and it has pulled a ton of players from FPX over.
I really like the usage of these smokes that bloom out of the choke point, as you can see here on A. It just puts a lot of pressure. It's drawn a ton of players over towards the A side. 4 players there trying to defend it from FPX because they got utility denied, any of the, information denied. Any of the attacking players could just spill through the smoke in a multitude of angles. And EG are still playing very spread. The way that EG like to play their attack side throughout Tokyo and the run towards the latter stages of VCT Americas was that they would try and take map control and insert Demon 1 somewhere to force a pick. But at the moment, he's just grouped up with Ethan, playing things together.
Relatively cautious, but it looks like it's trending towards a bit of this B split, which leaves it up to Berlin. He's only got a classic, so unlikely to get too much done, but maybe, well, there was a chance. There was util out in the hands of Boostio. The rest of FPX now scampering and scurrying all the way over. clearance here towards mid-com. Needs to not lose this gun, and well, the Bulldog definitely got that damage advantage. There's the fundamentals, Ethan. Helping him out. Swinging out through onto market, just trying to spot out where Isao is. Ethan, yeah, facing it. So, very clean. Flawless, in fact.
Not too bad. EG really look like they've woken up on the attack side here. We'll see if it continues into a bonus. When EG were going on that dominant run at the beginning of Tokyo, they were winning almost 70% of their bonus rounds, which is just a ludicrous amount. Prime Game and Flawless is going to really help them keep the economy looking fairly strong. Now, having said that, they did have 2 Spectres and a Stinger. It's not like they have the biggest bite here to go in. Haven't managed their economy to get the most amount of rifles online, but grouping up here for just a heavy B hit. Looking to try and overwhelm Lysor.
And Lysor playing in front of the turret. Unorthodox, unexpected. Right in front of the turret, in fact.
Not a great idea on an anti-eco, I don't think.
I mean, Util out in the hands, panicking when the paranoia was sent flying, and Demon one man. It's precise, it's surgical, over the top. Dash still there. Yuko inside the smoke. Could he answer back? Not any chance of it fading anytime soon. Doesn't take the timing just yet. Still waiting. The rest of his team look like they're almost set up here to just save these rifles.
And Yuko's just spamming through to see if he can find anything, but that's it. That is it. One small mistake. And EG all grouped up in the same place. And it's over for FPX in this round. EG take a pistol, spiral it into a bonus. And now they're 1 away from getting Demon 1's knives, 3 away from having Com get up to an ultimate. So you'd expect to see Com or potentially Ethan here chasing to try and get these kills. They certainly want to damage the economy of FPX as much as they can.
And they should be hunting.
Com's looking for it.
Spots the one. Rest of his team now grouping up, but looks like they have no intention of just trying to take that fight.
No, it's just a little a standoff, a stalemate happening over here.
Trenches are dug out, yeah.
Fair enough. Bit of respect shown.
If we go easy on them, they will never learn.
With that save, FPX are going to have enough for a serious buy here in round 16. And this is where they need to halt the momentum. You take a look at how this worked. I mean, Lysor's in front of his turret, as you were pointing out, Brent. With utility in hand, that's just not a sensible decision.
Yeah.
And I think he knows it, judging by that reaction.
Keep it up.
On the big stage, sometimes these things can just catch you off. You find yourself playing in a manner you don't do in scrims.
It's very common, in fact. EG are mounting this lead. Deep dart over, that's going to tag onto Ayang, and there's no time wasted with this one. The flash slight. Blind there onto Demon 1, but he is not wasted time. He's all the way through into tree, smoke drop down and a dash forwards. Crosshair placement, excuse me. Cut up for the moment. There's going to be a pull through the choke point, but is it too late? It might just be. Still players into the site. Yuko from heaven. He's eventually traded, but he's still doing a damage flash through. Even just, again, blindly firing. And Lysor out in the open, getting his ankles broken. Jorgamo is there with a Guardian.
And this attack side has just been dominant. I mean, your expectations for the match met here completely in the 4 rounds that we've seen so far on attack. FPX are not able to hold on, and EG are disrespecting them. The pace at which Demon 1 is just running into sight, no cares given.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of these rounds, it's just been such a rapid pace off the rip.
It's been very disrespectful, I think, in terms of not really caring if FPX are in a position to try and punish them.
Yeah.
Especially on that split through A. You know, normally teams are a little diligent. There's some utility thrown towards tree to make sure that someone can swing through the smoke, and maybe you pause for a moment to make sure you're all perfectly set up and the spacing's good. Whereas instead there, you just see EG barreling forwards, determined to bulldoze over FPX.
Yeah, not worried about, you know, any semblance of plays. The Astra Stars that you could use, I mean, plenty of util to try and slow you down. You think about the Astra in place of like maybe a KO on a defensive setup, so they'd have, you know, a nade, flashes, the knife even, to just try and delay. They're just not worried about it.
No, I mean, EG, I think, have a little talk with themselves probably during the halftime and have decided that they just want to overpower FPX.
Yeah.
Sometimes the faster you play and the more aggressively you play, the more mistakes you force out of your opponent. And with a team like FPX, yeah, they've got strong players, and they can certainly win aim duels and create some chaos and interesting strategies, but they also make a ton of mistakes. And you take the good with the bad when it comes with teams like FPX. But when you're playing against them, trying to force out those mistakes is often a key win condition.
What's interesting here is Demon 1 now has picked up the operator off the back of a lot of fast execs into sights. I wonder if EG were just trying to condition it. And now going into much slower play, you are really forced down to a crawl. Of course, Demon 1 does have the Blade Storm, so they can speed it up at any time. It's not going to be limited to just the weaponry. Hunting for a pick.
They may have been anticipating some kind of half-buy tiles crunch play there. But FPX are forced with 2 Bulldogs.
Drone broken, bit of damage there, the bullets landing. Not enough for the kill. Jorgamo survives over the top, breaking the Trailblazer. Doing enough in the early portion of this round as well, removing and cutting away any information that FPX are trying to get just through the sky util.
Potential
still
for
have 2 flashes.
Potential for a jet battle here on Catwalk. Actually, though, FPX looking like they want to re-clear through A main.
They didn't even use a flash for it. Just a recall star in a face.
Yeah.
Fully grouped up and pushing now.
I quite like it, though. You don't give any indication to EG that you're in this area of the map.
Oh, and they are pushed deep. Lambot's being broken. EG are not aware of this.
30 seconds left.
It's going to be happening behind them. Demon 1, he misses it. Back me in face to Young. Flash round to the side here, and here's the players from the top section of mid. All of that deep flank. Demon 1 left to try and contain and push them back. Lysor capitalizing off of it. Swinging in the midst of all of that, and time is running more than short right now. There's about 11 seconds left. They don't have control of A main, don't have control of the site, and Ayang dealing damage and a death and a blow. Nizhao still in control of it with all that positioning gained prior.
What a great call by Berlin there. What a fantastic decision to triple re-clear through A main. They left a gaping gap over towards Tree. Demon 1 with the operator is not really going to be in a position to try and push forwards aggressively and take that space. He's looking for picks. Here's another very important duel as Boostio swung into Lysor, who was the only player defending the B split through market. And Lysor wins the duel.
Now one call, changing the tide of things here. But we see a return to the faster plays of EG. That was what was winning them these rounds on the attack side. Yuko though, operator, misses the flick, Ethan. He was watching it from the top side of mid. Had the protocols there.
And that's a very bold play to go for Yuko when nobody's watching your top mid and there's no utility really to block that off.
Another clearance, that's just contact plays into main. Jorgamo spots it out, had the ult in his hands, thinking about a quick pivot. Maybe still considering it. Call yet to be made by the rest of the team, but they are grouping up now over towards B, and they have pushed Demon 1 into a deep 4 position into mid. Paranoia re-clear.
Lysor's got to back off now.
Yeah, he's got to play around your util, but still Lysor's just holding his ground, and he falls TP into the back. Berlin, he does remove him. Jorgamo's gone. Hunter's Fury though, there's a connection. There is the kill. Com is getting value from it. Shot missing, Demon 1 into mid. The Seeker's distracting him or what, not too sure, but still it's a 2v3. FPX could make something off this one. Nizhao just trying to play this one fast and loose as well, not waiting for any sort of timing. Spotted out though, there's a double face, Ayang! He's brought it down into a 1v1, and Com playing into main, Ayang. Still, he spotted him surely, just the edge of the gun, edge of the weaponry! Oh. Nails the shot!
Ayang has just been incredible for FPX here in map 1. Winning the duel against Demon 1's operator, comes through, claims another 3 kills. Perfect trade into backside. And identifies compositioning, remembering that Hunter's Fury earlier on. Look at the aim. It's so sharp from him.
Yeah, that is top form. He's feeling it.
And like I said, this is such a revival for him. He's looked a little limp recently in the last couple of months. But you know he's got that quality.
Definitely seen it before.
Yeah, he's got star player aim on the Flex Initiator role, often playing Sky, able to take these kind of duels. And at the moment, he's having an excellent game and keeping FPX within touching distance of EG.
And forcing that timeout out of EG once more. Reached the round limitation, Josh. You were interviewing in the morning with the arrivals.
I was, yes.
Yeah.
He said 13-4, 13-4.
Well,
that ain't happening.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Not at this rate. It is steadily getting closer and closer, creeping towards the danger zone. You know, we were saying earlier as well, we needed to see the adjustments from FPX after losing, was it 4 rounds in a row? You can see from the timeline on their defense side, and the adjustments have been there.
They certainly have. I think one of the key adjustments has been their ability to re-clear through A main. I mean, that's what we've seen in round 17 and 18 that's given them such freedom to be able to rotate people off. Because once they realize that A main is clear, they're completely aware that EG are going into B splits or looking towards tree. This time, I think EG are looking to try and adapt upon the adaptation. They look like they want to take much earlier A main control. At least Jorgamo's positioned more aggressively.
That's a crazy way to peek that with the updraft, but spots a player towards top mid. Yuko going to be pinging it out and repositioning, making sure he stays fluid with the operator. It's pretty important. Double clearance now over towards Cap from EG, droning into mid to just try and, you know, hide the intent of what they're going for with this hit. Is there any util to clear this corner off? Just a smoke and a flash. Ethan right behind him. Who wins this fight out? Dash is still there, an active jump spot onto the left side. Demon One has tucked himself into that corner.
Jorgamo's been spotted in A main as well. He's had to back off, so that may have ruined the timing. They might want to pivot this, move away from tree and go into a B split again.
Flash doesn't get deaded. Second one does though. Yeah, this has been slowed. Down to 35 seconds now. Bustio being pushed. Wow. What an angle to peek off the alarm box. Contact! Instantly responded, and meanwhile, there's a battle taking place on the other section of the map, but EG have no intention of going over towards A. Straight down mid, right into Lysor, the difference maker. The spikes drop down. It is carnage occurring. Damage definitely done. Lysor needs to try and play for his life. Still Yuko, he's picked up the angle a little bit too late here. Paranoia out in the open. Lysor can't land the kill. 11 bullets and towards the backside of it. Ethan's there. Jorgamo collects. 12 seconds left and they are going to be able to get this plant down. The site is opened to Ayang. In a 1v2, the form has been good but does not expect it. The positioning or repositioning of Jorgamo. Enough to clinch the round.
Jorgamo's positioning in that round was just madness too. I mean, he's up close towards A main at the start of the round and then throwing his paranoia, just kind of bunny hopping towards Lysor. But here's where Ayang made this round winnable, and Lysor as well. These two continue to win Angels very consistently against EG. This time not quite enough, but still pushed. EG, though, creep further and further to the finish line.
An important thing to note as well is the economy taking a bit of a tumble. Pistols for FPX, plenty of ults to use here, trying to play aggressively, spamming through the wall with it, dart tagging. Lysor in so much trouble. I mean, just facing wide here. Lockdown, used, shot missing. The bunny hops just narrowly avoiding all these bullets that are flying straight through them, but you got to respect this lockdown now. Has to be the evacuation. Is there any sort of utility to stop it? Updraft, dash, yep, nade into the corner, along with the Nana Swarm. It clears them out, pushes them back, gives that player advantage, but for EG right now, still, the post plan actually, as long as they get this plant down, is actually quite good. They have been main control still, and with that kill, again, the advantage keeps going their way. Flash and a re-peek, slight miss, but still with the rifles. Maybe they can get these kills up. Yuko, last one left. Not for much longer. 12-8. One more round for EG.
Match point.
FPX need 4 in a row to be able to draw this into overtime. I think that's going to be a challenge for them. They've looked good. They have a lot of big ultimates, but the way in which they're getting results is, you know, forcing EG to take unfavorable duels and ended up winning them with Ayang and Lysor. I just don't think, I think there's been too many mistakes for them to win 4 in a row. They're going to have to really bring the consistency here towards the end of map 1.
Let's see if it can happen. Still with the attack side operator, Demon One will be forced to slow this one down, but EG look like they're almost setting up for play into the site.
This has been red. You can see both the Killjoy and the Astra deep back in spawn, playing anti-KO ult setups. They can still pull and stun and activate smokes, have those nanoswarms popped off, but it does mean that they lack a ton of map control. They're essentially playing you know, 3v5 up until the sight hit comes through.
Yeah.
They were expecting EG to pick up that ult orb and go straight into a hit.
Jorgamo placing the deep smoke. Dart as well to mid. Again, FPX don't really have a clue what could be occurring. Star still into the choke point. With this, yeah, no command comes through, and they are going to be able to dead these, so look at that. It's going to be the pull online, but they just wait it out. Berlin still anchoring towards the back, cannot use the util. Will the push come through? Demon 1, I mean, he's just entering for them with the operator. The rifles will clean it up in the end. Shots hitting. Everybody on form right now for EG, and they can feel it. This is it. Precipice to try and take away map number 1. Team hungry to get this done and over with just like that. And number 1 will be theirs. It's a 13-8 finish for EG. A credit to FPX, definitely pushing them.
But that is FPX's, in theory, best map, and EG have just taken it in 13-8. You know, a great performance from Ayoung, I think. In terms of his individual form, looked very sharp, but EG were certainly able to pull ahead on their attack side. FPX only winning 2 defensive rounds on Ascent. That tracks with how they've played the map historically. They're much better on the attack side than the defense side. Still some holes in their game, but you can see that when FPX have their moments, they look like they're going to be able to take rounds away. The question really is if they can turn that into maps or even a series.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of that individual step-ups of form, not really the prior planning of any sort of defensive setups, the good ideas. And honestly, a lot of disrespect, I think, being showcased by EG. They were definitely taking a lot of those individual duels, weren't playing with the solid fundamentals that carried them to that second-place finish at Tokyo.
I think they had some moments of it,
yeah,
and some moments that slipped. And to be honest, that's going to be a continuing question throughout their run. I don't think we're going to learn everything we want to know about EG from one series. It's going to be a course of the entire group.
I couldn't agree more. Waiting to see if those questions are still being answered. But of course, plenty more of the series, of course, left to play. On top of that, that was only just map number 1.
Hey, and FPX are pretty decent at Pearl. That's coming up next.
Yeah, lots of chances for them to do some more damage, maybe just make it much more even over the course of this series. Well, we'll find out anyway. That is map 1, all wrapped up for it. Surprise and elation on the face of the EG players. We're right back after this with the rest of the series. Do not go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.